Hello, everybody. Just trying to get everybody logged on. Bear with me while we do that. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. So somebody let me know on there that we're all in here and we can hear me now. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
All good.
Okay, perfect. For those of us that went to the golf tournament, thank you. That was the most fun I've had in a long time. I know that sounds pretty pathetic because how could you have so much fun at a golf tournament, Patty, when you don't golf? Let me tell you, okay? It was so much fun. So, one of the guys that came was a mortgage broker, and on the very first hole, he fell out of the golf cart. No joke, okay? So from falling out of the golf cart on the first hole to us riding on the outside of the golf court by the last hole, we had an amazing time. I'm going to plan more events of things to do with Widget. So you guys, I need your examples. I need ideas from you guys, okay? I have something we can do like a dinner with Widget, but I want to do something fun. Maybe we could go on a fishing trip, okay? So let's go fishing with Widget. I mean, let's go have some fun. Let's go do something, you guys. So anybody that has ideas of things we could all get together as a group and go hang out. It was so much fun. I can't wait to do another one. If you guys have ideas for us to get together and do things, please, by all means, I'm open to ideas. So throw them at me. My hair just fell out of my hair clip, but it's wet. I got out of the shower. It's been an interesting Wednesday, let me tell you. And then just so you guys know, if anybody needs to, I am live and in person tomorrow at AGLA at their office from 8:30 to 4:30. So if you are out and about, I think there's some kind of breakfast going on at AGLA with Dennis Block. I could be wrong, but I think
Until
it's
November, Patty.
Oh, that's not till November. Thank you. Okay, so don't come tomorrow for free breakfast because that was a lie. Sorry, new to AGLA, not new to the industry. But there is a free breakfast coming up. So if you're out and about tomorrow around
Patty,
lunch,
Patty,
yeah.
there's a lunch and learn tomorrow from 12 to 1:30 live at AGLA.
Oh, there you go. I knew something was going on with free food because, hey, a girl's got to eat, right? So if you're out and about tomorrow at lunchtime, come by and see me. You got to sign up for that, so make sure you do that in advance. But I will be there having free lunch with you. So please come join us tomorrow for free lunch at AGLA, but you got to sign up for it or they won't let you in. Trust me, I've seen how that goes. So tomorrow at AGLA, free lunch and learn. Who's talking, Arlene, tomorrow? What's the lunch and learn about?
Hold on, I have to look it up.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I'm still letting people come in also, so just so everyone knows. But yes, the golf tournament was fun. If anybody has ideas for some other kind of get together for all of us, it was a really good time. Even our own little Carla won closest to the pin. It was great. I think I won not even close, but hey. And I got to do something for the very first time. You know our guys from the exterminator company, Akela? He needed his Tesla needed a jump start, but it didn't need a battery jump start. It needed a Wi-Fi jump start, and I had my Starlink. So I had to use my Starlink to basically jumpstart a Tesla, for lack of a better way to describe that. That's a first for me, let me tell you. Okay, that's never happened to me before. Arlene, do we know what it's about?
I'm looking.
Okay, still looking. So there's free lunch tomorrow at AGLA. We have no idea what it's about, but sign up for it and you can come have free lunch with us. Anybody have anything that they want to talk about? Specifically, I know we're getting a lot of questions regarding Assembly Bill 628 and the new requirements for appliances to be put in all residential dwellings across the state. And if you're just hearing that for the first time right now, I'm sorry, but you heard me correctly. Starting January 1st, 2026, we as landlords are responsible for providing all appliances for residential dwellings, including refrigerators, ovens, and stoves. Don't think you're going to go slap a mini fridge in there because that was my first thought. The statute says that it has to be sufficient for the unit. Okay. And let's face it, you guys, if you can't stick a half a gallon of ice cream in the freezer, it's not sufficient because that wouldn't work for me. If it wouldn't work for me, it doesn't work for you. It doesn't work for them. Keep that in mind. Okay. But that does come into effect on January the 1st. I am working diligently with AGLA to have an addendum on file prior to January 1st. Hopefully we can get that done in enough time that we have, I'm thinking it'll be done by the second week in November. My thinking is that gives you about 6 weeks to have it on file before the law is implemented on the 1st. The addendum will most likely say something along the lines of the landlord knows that they must provide a refrigerator under statute, and it's going to come in under California Habitability Code, which is 1941.2 off the top of my head, but don't hold me to that number. Okay. That's just an example. I got a feeling it's going to come under that habitability code, and then it would be a habitability issue if they didn't have a refrigerator, an oven, or a stove. Oven or stove's already a habitability issue, kind of, but now we need to supply that appliance if we haven't been supplying it before. An addendum that said that at this time, the tenant would most likely want to use their own set appliance, refrigerator, oven, stove, whatever it may be. That would probably be what relieved you from going out and buying new refrigerators for all your residential dwellings. Wait, what? What would relieve me from going out and buying refrigerators for all my residential dwellings? An addendum stating that the tenant chooses to use their own at this time. I'm working diligently with AGLA on that. We should have it up in a couple of weeks is my guess. I'm trying to give you at least 6 weeks before the law changes. The tenant would need to sign it. The key is the tenant needs to sign it. It's not one of those things where we can just enforce it if they don't sign it. They must sign and agree to it. So look at it this way. And I would just tell them, you know, the law's changed again, unfortunately, says that starting January 1, I need to provide you with appliances. I know that you're currently using your own refrigerator, and I'm sure you wouldn't want to downsize at this time and utilize mine. So at this time, if you want to sign an addendum stating that you're currently still using your own at this time, and the key is at this time, because you as a landlord have to provide it as of January 1st. So at this time, if they want to use their own, that's fine. But if it breaks, you need to know that you're the one that's replacing it. Do not repair their refrigerator. Yeah, it might save you money here and there, but if you're throwing good money after bad, just don't. I mean, it doesn't make sense to repair their car so they can go to work. So why would we repair their refrigerator? Okay, I hope that makes sense. Also, the provision under the new law says the appliances cannot be older than 10 years. Thank you, Miriam. You're just a little bit quicker than I was. So the appliance cannot be older than 10 years old. Some of the best appliances that we have are old. They don't have all this new energy efficient stuff in it that doesn't hold up over the course of time. I think they install gremlins into the devices so that they fail right after the warranty expires, right? But that is the new law, AB 628. Did you mention if we have to do this for existing tenants? Yes, you do. All tenants as of January 1. Look at it this way. If they're already living in your house, they're already using their own appliance, right? You need them to put in writing that they want to continue to use their own. Otherwise, you have to go put appliances in before January 1st.
Patty, the lesson learned tomorrow is renovate, repair, and paint right. Lead safety for property owners in LA County.
Who's teaching it?
Does it say?
Well, it's too late to RSVP because I just looked into it.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Call Diana and tell her you want to RSVP, and can she put you in there? I bet she'll sneak you in. And the reason I'm telling you to call Diana is she's the one that plans that, and she has till 3:00 today to put in the lunch order. So get on it quick.
All
Send
right.
her an email, diana@agla.org.
I have a question, Patty.
Sure.
For the refrigerators, do we have to do it for all tenants as of January 1st? Or say we have somebody whose lease renewal is coming up like February and we're not making any changes until then? Can we wait till then, or do we just do everybody as of January 1st?
The law says, and this is how I interpret it, okay?
Okay.
Me interpret it, okay? The way I understood it is it reads that any lease renewal on or after January 1st. So if you're on a month to month, okay, and then just hear me out, and it renews by the tenant paying the rent on January 1st, yes?
Okay, yes.
Okay, so that would be a renewal, right? So
Yes.
anybody that's on a month to month needs to have that on file before January 1 in my mind.
Okay.
Okay. As far as your existing tenants also have to have it on file as of January 1.
Okay.
So anybody that's in a term, if you have to provide appliances as of January 1, if you're not providing appliances, you need to have that addendum on file.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank
If
you.
they want you to provide the appliance, you have to go get the appliance. You cannot say they have to use their own. It doesn't work that way anymore. At this time, they are requesting to use their own. Look at it this way. If you provided ovens and stoves in all of your properties this entire time, and a tenant moves in and wants to use their own oven and stove, do we have them sign an addendum stating that they're using their own and storing the owners in the garage? Yeah, that's what we do, right? You're just doing this the other direction now.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I had to get in the little widget brain of what are we doing here and why, and then make it in terms that we could all understand. Okay. So same concept, just different appliance, but now we have to provide them just like we've provided ovens and stoves forever because they've been a habitability issue and we didn't want to give that control to the tenant. Now we are required to provide them by law. And I got a feeling all of these things that we've been doing as a courtesy or things of that nature, we're going to start seeing business practices become law. Does that make sense? I've always taken photos of before, after, during, in a tenancy. Always. It's been my business practice for decades. At a move-in inspection, before digital photos and the quality you can get, because let's face it, if you take a picture with your camera phone, you can zoom in and read the name tag in a photo of a group full of people to remember what somebody's name is, right? But back in the day, you couldn't do that. You'd zoom in and it would blur everywhere.
Okay,
Oh,
Patty, I have a question, Patty, please.
Okay, ask me the question while I'm trying to figure out how to let April into our class, okay? Because she's begging me.
Let's say we have 10 old tenants and come January 1st, do I have to write these tenants that let me know if you want to replace your refrigerator with what is ours that by law has to be supplied to you? Or we just stay quiet until they tell me you need.
You can't stay quiet on this one.
So how do we do this? Send them a note, whether do you want a refrigerator or
We're
not?
gonna do some knocking and talking, okay? And we're gonna ask them we're going to ask them that way. We're going to say, hey, the law's changed again. It says that as of this date, I have to provide you with these appliances. If you don't want that, we're going to have you sign an addendum stating that at this time you want to use your own.
Okay, then we have to proactively send a notice to all of them saying, do you want it or you don't want it, basically.
Bingo, yes.
Does the I haven't had a chance to look at it. Does it say anything about like what's the consequence that it's like a affirmative defense to
I didn't read the
eviction?
concept. I didn't
Yeah.
read the consequence. I think it's going to be a habitability issue, to be
But
honest with you.
okay, so what's the consequence of a habitability issue? They can either
It's an
like
affirmative defense because they can withhold rent.
right, but I mean like if you're on good terms and I don't know which one of us is a lawyer because I say if you're on good terms otherwise and everything's copacetic, like wait till the renewal to even have anything signed.
Well, I was hoping that you'd look at the provision for me and give me your opinion too. So, just
You
for
get it.
reference, it's AB 628.
Hold on.
Patty,
Yes.
when you're doing that addendum, see if you can put something in there about if the appliance is older than 10 years, but you're happy with it, that you can continue to use it, and when it breaks, we'll replace it. See if you can put
Well,
something like that.
well, the thing that I'm working on is I don't know that we're going to be able to write that part of it off. We will be able to write off the part that the tenant wants to use their own, but I don't think that we'll be able to write off that it's older.
Yeah, why not try? I mean, what's the harm?
Well,
So a
that's
judge
where
doesn't
that's where
so a
Chris
judge
comes in.
well, a judge doesn't enforce it. I mean, like they're worse things, you know. You might as well try because they might enforce it. I mean, the bottom line is like, okay, if I'm a reasonable judge and not completely biased one way, which is a big if, um, what do I really care about as far as habitability? If you're forced to provide a stove and fridge, that they
and
work,
that it's working.
that they
Exactly.
work, that every burner works, that the oven works, that the fridge works, and you know, I mean, without leaking or any other issues, like that's what really matters. And as far as like trying to put any equity on it, that would be the big thing if you're like not providing it. The 10-year
So
thing, I mean,
I think what Chris just said in simple English is an attorney should be willing to argue that for you in a court of law.
yeah, but even like even just putting on like a judge hat, right? Like you're sitting there
Right.
as a
No,
judge.
I totally agree with
Okay,
exactly what you're saying.
yeah, the law says it's supposed to be newer than 10 years. Yeah, but like, does
But
it
it's
work?
working. Yeah, no, I completely
Do you
agree
have
with
any
what
issues
you're
with
saying.
it? No. So why are you, you know, it's like pick your battles.
Right.
If somebody was getting that technical, I would be, I don't know. I mean, you know, it all depends on the jurisdiction and who your judge is, I
But I
guess.
mean, at that point, Chris, it's going to cost you more to fight it than to just buy a goddamn stove. So, you know, I mean, at that point,
yeah.
I think you're just gonna, you know,
My advice is like if you're already providing stuff, don't worry about the 10-year thing. If you're
Yeah.
already providing stuff, just leave it in there. And when it breaks, like,
just
you know,
replace
maybe
it
put
or
new
repair
stuff
it.
in
Yeah.
Yeah.
instead of a repair if you or
Well, that's
you
my theory. If the tenant's using their own, right?
but you gotta do math and you gotta do, you know, like look at the likelihood and magnitude of any risk as far as like somebody making a federal case out of some stupid little technicality.
Right. Well, I looked into if you're going to do it, what I looked into was because you know the next thing that they're going to tell us is that we can't have gas. So I was looking into if I'm going to replace it, putting in electric, and I found out yesterday that you got to pull to 220 for it. You can't just
Yeah.
plug it in.
I don't know. Some people like gas. I would leave gas as long as possible personally, but
I know, but if I have to replace it, I don't want to have to replace it twice. You know?
yeah, that's true. You
I'm
could
just,
do the electric and
I'm
have
just
it,
looking ahead.
you could do the electric and have it ready.
What
Without-
Arlene's saying is the likelihood of the state of California forcing us to eliminate gas appliances is very high.
But I think it's a lot easier to like do it on new construction than it is on existing construction. Because
Agreed.
arguably,
Agreed.
it's, they could get sued for a taking or something too, and there will be people who love their gas, like certain chefs.
Absolutely.
Although I've heard great things about induction, but there's some of us who really like gas stoves. So
You can control the temperature much easier on a gas stove than you
Right.
can on an electric one.
Yeah, but
believe
they
it or
do
not,
it perfectly. I mean,
there's also a lot of foodie and chef or people who like to cook who are attorneys and judges. So and probably some politicians. Like it comes up a lot with attorneys. So
Whether they want to cook it, they may want to eat it. So they. Oh goodness. All right. Any more questions about AB 628? Okay, hold on. Julie is asking something. Oh, this is a big one. Hang on. Hang
Actually,
on.
Patty, but I did message you my question. But in regard to the fridge, so if it's an existing tenant and they already have one, I think you answered this. But just to clarify,
You
and
need
they
an
say,
addendum on file on or before January 1st if they
yeah,
want to continue to use their own.
yeah, I'll do that. But if they say, I'm hoping all of them will be like, no, because they're existing tenants, I have my own fridge. But if they do say, yeah, I'll take you up on that offer, and there's nothing wrong with my fridge, but I'd like a new fridge, I have no other choice.
You have no other choice.
Okay.
You don't have to provide a new fridge. You should not mention
It
that.
has to be 10 years old or newer. It cannot be older than 10 years.
But it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, but you can buy an old, a used fridge.
Right, but it can't be older than 10
Right.
years.
Yeah.
right, but I mean,
but-
they probably did that thinking that that it gives owners the ability to buy like a refurbished fridge or a used fridge or something like that without it making sure there's some standard that it's not like ancient.
They're not going to the Goodwill. Yeah, no, I got it.
But I don't think I don't think it'd be reasonable to say that like when your appliance turns 10, you have to replace it immediately just because of that. That's wasteful.
Okay, let me get Marion's question really quick. How are landlords supposed to pay for 15 units with all appliances? Is this a California thing or a LA thing? It's a California thing. So across the board, all residential dwellings. And you're absolutely positively correct in how are landlords supposed to pay for all 15 units to get a refrigerator? Well, we are going to ask the tenants if they want under new law, landlords are now to provide appliances for tenants. Would they like to continue using their own at this time? And then if it breaks, you would replace it. That way you're teeter-tottering them in and not getting bombarded all at once. That's how I would handle it to answer that question. And then Julia, a tenant told me to remove them from the rental agreement. I informed them it's a process and explained what that entailed. Never heard back from her. I talked to the other tenants. They said they'd handle the situation with the other tenant. I got a letter from Edison that the tenant terminated services due to move out. The existing tenants put services back in their name. Do I have to reach out to the tenant that moved out and chase her to fill out the move out paperwork? Technically, I've done my part by informing her, is my thought. I'm going to answer this really easy for you. What you need to watch for is them bringing on a new tenant that you're unaware of. Okay, that would be my concern. The way I see it is if you evict the 3 remaining tenants for non-payment by naming her in the eviction because she never gave you notice she was vacating, you would also name her in the eviction so that she would be financially responsible. Also, in the event that there's somebody vacating, the unit goes vacant, her name also stays on the deposit refund check. Okay? So in other words, you can leave it like it sits for right now. If you go to evict, you want to include her name. If you go, so include her in the eviction as a named defendant. And then you have her on the hook because she didn't go through the proper channels to get taken off responsibly. She would have had to given you a letter saying she has no further interest in the property located at with the property address and surrender the key to you. Okay? She didn't give you a 30-day in writing. She didn't surrender the key to you. Therefore, she's still a responsible party on the lease contract.
Yeah, she texted me saying, don't add me to the lease. And I believe that there was family drama, and she mentioned that, I don't know, someone was moving in or whatever. I didn't want to go opening my mouth to the other tenants because she pretty much said it was a mistress or something like that. And so anyways, I just ignored that part, didn't want to get into it. I said, here is what's required. You would have to let me know. I'd have to requalify the households and make sure that they still income qualify. And then you would also have to inform me, wait, I can't say, I did say that.
You can't requalify somebody that's already living there. What are you going to do? Ask them to move out because they don't qualify? They already live there. It doesn't work that way. If they're already in there, we already know their credit. We're not requalifying them. It's a waste of time, a waste of energy, and a waste of effort. And the reason I say that is, number one, we already know who they are. Number two, we already ran their credit when they moved in. Number three, if they can't afford the rent, we're going to wait to do what? Serve a 3-day? So what did running their credit do for us? Nothing.
No, I wasn't going to run their credit. I was just going to income qualify, and because that tenant that supposedly,
I know, but okay, let's play the game. Okay, let's go down the rabbit hole so you understand. I'm cutting out a process for a reason. Okay. Okay, they don't income qualify. Now what?
and that's why I informed them, if you're going to have somebody move in, I need to know, and then I can add their income to it, or I just need to know because I need to know who is living
and
here. Are you having?
They don't have anybody that's moving in, and now they're not income qualified. What do? I'm asking you. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to wait until they don't pay the rent, and then you 3-day all 4 of the tenants because they didn't give you proper notification that they vacated, so they're still financially responsible.
Okay, so is it bad that I said this? Is what I said. I said I need you to sign off that you have no interest in the security deposit, and that I do have to income qualify the household. So you need to let me know what you decide. And then I never heard back.
Don't have to income qualify the household.
I already told that. So will I get in trouble or something for saying that?
You're not going to get in trouble. But what I'm trying to do is eliminate a process for you. Because in all fairness, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. So all you can say is you need to give me a notice in writing and surrender your key to me. That's it.
And sign off on the security deposit.
Well, I have no further interest is what signs them off of the security deposit, but you don't have to explain that in detail. Just tell them I need a letter from you stating that you have no further interest in the property located at, and the whole address.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
I don't explain to them what it's for because then they don't want to do it. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, I mean, I always
people I can keep on the hook because their name's still on the lease legally. I want that.
Yeah.
I don't want to let go of somebody that has good credit, that. So if they just don't follow what the protocol and surrender the key to me and give me something in writing, then I'm going to hold their foot to the fire when their roommates can't pay the bill.
Yeah, and I did inform her she's still, unless I get these things from her, she's still, I didn't say anything about the key.
Financially responsible.
Yes, I did tell her that she's financially responsible, and then never heard back, but she was paying for Edison, and then she went and terminated those services stating move out. So
I got you, but that's between her and her roommates and not a you problem.
Okay. Got it.
Wear your hat. Wear the right hat.
Okay. And I was always trained to explain the deposit because usually they would say, oh, go ahead and give me my portion. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. This is how it works. We keep it until the entire household.
The only answer that I have for that is it never changes, is security deposits are allocated when the property's vacated.
Okay.
It's always my answer. It never changes. It's always the same. Security deposits are allocated, meaning dispersed, once the property is vacated, meaning when nobody lives there anymore, then we deal with the security deposit. But until that happens, it doesn't get allocated.
Yeah, and that's between her and her roommates. Like they
Bingo, bingo. Don't
if somebody new is moving in, they should be reimbursing her security deposit.
Right. And it's not a you problem where you're hat as landlord. You're not roommate advisor.
Yeah, got it. So do I, so leave as is then. I don't need to correct myself because I said income. I have a feeling that's kind of why they don't want to inform me that they're moving out because they probably don't income qualify without her.
Bingo.
But
Now you're getting it.
which
And
is why I still
and
want.
why you want to leave her on the hook in case you have to evict, because as somebody that may care about their credit.
But that's why I think it's important to still say income qualify, because then that would be, they would be more cautious enough to, you know, okay, well then let's still have her on the lease. That's why I thought it was a good strategy to say it.
But you really can't. And you know, what do you care? As long the rent either gets paid or it doesn't get paid.
Bingo.
It's
Bingo.
true.
Okay.
Like they're probably joint and severally liable, right? So you want as many parties on that as possible. So
Bingo.
especially if she's not following, you know, formalities, but leave the income qualification stuff alone. Like it doesn't
Okay.
matter. You don't know where they're going to get the money from, and you don't really care as
Okay.
long as you get paid, right?
Yeah. Okay.
We don't
Got
care
it.
what color their stripper pole is as long as they're giving us the green money.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
No problem. Google AI states the 10-year-old replacement requirement was removed due to pushback from landlord groups. I don't ever believe what Google AI states. Go read the provision. AB 628. That's where it matters. If organizations and landlord and housing organizations pushed back, then it would be changed already. So go look at the statute. It's always been my rule. Ignore the mud they fling on the wall to see if it'll stick, and go read the rule. AB 628. Okay, I promise.
Patty, still about the refrigerator. I have one tenant who bought their own refrigerator. It's huge. They paid a plumber without permission to hook it up to water, so it has an ice maker. So when their refrigerator goes out, am I supposed to buy them like a $2,000 refrigerator?
No, you have to buy one that's sufficient for the unit. In other words, if it is a studio unit, it has to have a freezer on it so they could put a half-gallon of ice cream in it and make ice cube trays. Does that make sense? Look at it this way. If you were living all by yourself, would you need a refrigerator that had a freezer on it? Absolutely. Yeah, because we don't go to the grocery store every night. It's just not what we do. We're lazy, right? So you have to put in something that's sufficient for the size of the unit.
Okay, so what he's going to want
If
is
they have
another
30 people living in a 2-bedroom unit, you have to put in a refrigerator that's sufficient for the 2-bedroom unit, not the 30 people that live there.
Okay, so it is a 2-bedroom unit. Only 3 people live there, but he's not going to like it if I give him. So I guess the solution
He's
would
going to
be.
like it if he can sign an addendum that says that at this time the tenant can use their own.
Okay. So
rather than downgrade to yours that doesn't have an ice maker in the door and doesn't have water in the door. It is just a standard refrigerator freezer. I'm going to guess at about 16 and a half cubic feet, but what do I know?
Okay, super, thanks.
So this is where we have the loophole of a tenant wanting to use their own. You just got to sugarcoat it. Okay.
So he has a choice. I can get him a smaller refrigerator or he can buy his own.
He can use his own.
Okay.
So if they put in writing that the tenant agrees and wants to use their own, you're not breaking the law. You're abiding by your tenant's request, knowing full well that if their refrigerator breaks, you will have to supply them with a refrigerator sufficient to the size of the property.
Hey,
Okay. I have another question.
Hold on, Chris is piping in.
There's
Yes,
no,
Chris.
there's no, I think Google AI is actually correct because I just read AB 628. I don't see any mention of 10 years. It talks about like
Okay,
good
good,
working.
good,
It just
good. They
can't
removed it. Yay!
be under recall is what it says basically. It's a refrigerator that's maintaining good working order and capable of safely storing food. And that says a refrigerator that is subject to recall by the manufacturer or a public entity is not capable of safely storing food. So I don't even.
So they removed the 10-year provision. Yay!
I don't.
Yay!
Let's see.
Sometimes we win one, guys.
Yeah, I'm reading it too,
That's
Chris.
not
I don't see anything.
That's
See,
not
see,
all.
but it was on there, and you see how things change so quickly, and now we're learning how to go look and find the answer instead of listening. Go look, okay? That's the biggest thing I can put in your head.
This is Marion. I just wanted to say we're looking at it on their site. The gentleman at the scope is absolutely correct in that other changes are really, really important for all of us. The second, and the children's JC, that it's not possible to support housing, SRO, and residential retail and as well. So then you put it, if it's, I mean, not something, but it's an SRO.
Miriam, I don't know why, but we can read what you type, no problem. When you talk to us, I don't know why we had this problem last time you were on. It sounds like you're underwater for some reason or another.
Okay. All right.
I got all right out of that.
She has two screens on.
Oh, maybe that's it. But it just sounds like she's underwater, doesn't it?
That's the sound in the
Okay, Arlene, when you're working on AGLA forms, can you put together a form for semi-annual inspection? Yes, I'm going to call it preventative maintenance inspection. Okay? Just so you know what I'm calling it.
Thank you.
I have good news to you. May I speak? I'm sorry, Miriam. Yes. Do we have a reliable termite company? Call Akella.
I have someone else I used who I really liked who was very reasonable.
Arlene's going to give us two options in the text for a termite company, okay?
Yeah. I used Akela to come out for bed bugs
Okay.
inspection, but these other people were really, really responsive and good, and they were like a third of what Western or termite or Orkin was.
That's awesome. So Arlene, will you type that in the bottom so Miriam can get that? And then thank you, Arlene. Also, can I summarize the bill regarding staircases and balconies? It is in regards to inspecting our elevated walkways. We must have them re-inspected every 5 years to make sure that they support people. That's not an annual thing. It's a 5-year thing. They have to be re-inspected. I goofed last time I mentioned it. I am human.
Patty, 7 years.
It's 7, not 5.
7.
Are you
Might be
sure?
different for the condos than the apartments.
Okay.
No, wait. What I learned is that condos with HOAs are 7 years, but apartment buildings is every 5 years.
Okay, there we go. Which kind of makes sense but doesn't. So basically they're saying if there's an HOA manager, you get an extra 2 years. Which is makes no sense to me whatsoever, but okay, we'll go with it. We already got a year extension. It was supposed to take effect on January 1st, 2025. It was extended to January 1st, 2026. You must have all elevated walkways inspected. So staircases on the exterior of the building, staircases with walkways that have like a catwalk to another doorway would need to be inspected, and any balconies or raised platforms on the other side. So if you have a raised deck even, you might have to have that inspected as well.
I have a question. In that HOA situation, what do you think you should do as an owner? Like request a copy of the inspection report so you can stick it in your file and have it? Or just
Absolutely. Absolutely, because the HOA is paying for it. That's why they're asking for 2 years, but the HOA is not paying for it. You're paying for it in your HOA dues. They're just recalculating that expense in there. I don't know why they're giving HOAs an additional 2 years, but yeehaw, go with it. But yeah, I'd be asking,
get a copy of it, right?
absolutely. I mean, we're the ones that have to prove that it happened, not them. So
Patty, also I learned that any
thank
home
you, G.
inspector,
Jones. Go ahead.
any certified home inspector can do that for you. It doesn't have to be a structural engineer or architect.
It
Any
has to
home-
be a structural engineer, architect, if work needs to be done to bring it to up to standard.
Yes,
The other
but
thing is, I wouldn't want to rely on. I mean, it's also for liability, right? I mean, the whole reason they brought it in is because there were catastrophic collapses that I think
People
killed people.
lost their lives. Yes.
So you don't want to skimp on this. You want to make sure you have a reputable company with reputable professionals, because if something does happen, you want to point to this report and see, like, look, I complied with the law.
Yeah, you
I
want to
was
cover
working-
your asset, not.
I
Yeah.
don't think this is. I mean, you can shop around anyway. There are tons of companies. I know
Yeah.
that from the trade show. So it's not like you can't shop around for quotes and see who'll give you the best deal as like an AGLA member. But I don't think this is a place you want to be stupid cheap.
Yeah, I would agree with that, especially when they're making such a fuss over what happened, you know?
Because this is your cover your ass. This is, something does happen. You're like, well, where's the negligence? I had it inspected pursuant to law. That's
Yeah, I hired a professional to handle this. Go yell at them, not me.
well, yeah. I mean, it's going to be their liability. So you want somebody who's licensed and insured and the whole everything.
Whole
Yeah,
9 yards.
It has to be either a licensed structural or civil engineer, a licensed architect, or a contractor that has A, B, or C5 licensing and has had at least 5 years of experience building multi-story wood frame buildings.
Okay, with them going over the criteria of what the inspector has to be, should tell you that they're
How are you
not
gonna know-
messing around.
Yeah, but the other thing is too, though, like the contractor thing. Like, how are you going to really know, right? They can say whatever, but a licensed engineer, professional engineer, or licensed architect, they're licensed. Like the state will attest to the fact that they're actually licensed. You can ask for they'll have insurance, and you can ask for proof of it. And I would personally, um, professional liability. I mean, how are you going to ascertain whether your contractor really has that adequate background? And they're all going to tell you they do, right? They want to make the
Right.
money. So
Chris,
Yeah.
no, you can go. I checked them out. I went on the state board for contractors.
Contractors
or
board.
they say if they have experience on multifamily or multi-story or whatever.
You can tell how long they've
Like
been doing
how
it.
long their license
Okay,
is.
but that doesn't say. I mean, you don't know.
Well, But
That's
if you
not
have
the
one of
same
those
as-
qualified licenses, and then you ask them. I mean,
Right, but what I'm saying is based on what you just read, I would go for a professional engineer or a licensed architect.
mhm.
Because that's a very simple qualification, right? There's no added wrinkle to it. There's not going to be a dispute
Yeah.
that can be litigated.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
you
they also
can have a
changed.
guy's
They
gonna
also
contract-
changed it when it started because originally the person doing the inspection was not allowed to do the work, but now they can.
Correct. Yeah, they had a lot of different contingencies on it when it was originally written. And it was originally written in like 2021. We all knew it was coming, but when it got thrown in our face, we weren't ready for it. So we got the 1 year extension on top of it. G. Jones is asking if we know of a good window hang on, I lost it. Window replacement company for Los Angeles. Single pane bedroom window has a bullet hole in it.
Hmm.
Anybody have a glass repair company in the LA area you can refer? Please type it in the chat. And does anybody else have anything else they want to talk about? The only one I can refer to you is bare windows and doors off the top of my head, and they're not going to do single plane. They're going to want to replace everything with fancy stuff. Fancy stuff. Expensive stuff. But yeah, I'd see if you can find just a glass shop in LA, because they're the ones that'll repair or replace a single pane.
Go to CWH. It's everywhere. They do it. CWH.
Okay, thank you. Google them. CWH. Thank you, David. Thank you, everybody.
Hey, so
Patty, can we put together a list on Widget's Way website of referrals?
Yeah, everybody that wants to give me a referral to somewhere, email it to me for referrals, and I'll tell my web guy to build it. Just everybody needs to know that they have no affiliation and they're other members' referrals. You know what I mean? I don't want somebody to yell at me.
hey, are you hearing anything at AGLA about the declaration of emergency?
No, but I'll be at AGLA tomorrow, and I'm sure I'm going to hear a lot about it then, because Dan is very vocal when I'm there on Thursdays under things that either just hit us or are coming at us.
Because they just did the first part of like declaring the emergency, right? They haven't got to the like details of the moratorium.
That's correct.
Like, I hope these clowns aren't going to give everybody a moratorium on self-attestation that they.
Well, the screwed up part is immigrational status is a protected class in the state of California, so we
right.
can't ask.
Well, but they can volunteer, I suppose. It's not
They can volunteer, but we can't ask. We can't
right,
challenge.
but they have to. But what I'm saying is they have to volunteer. You start your eviction, it's going to be an affirmative defense, where all of a sudden, any scummy tenant's going to claim that somebody in the household has.
But because they're a protected class, can we ask them to prove it?
No, but I mean, I suppose you have to have some kind of. They're going to have some kind of mechanism in a court or something. If not, they got some serious due process problems.
I just hope none of us have to find out. That's all. So no, I haven't heard anything about the no eviction moratorium in LA County of any more talk about it.
And are there any more? I don't know. There was talk of, wasn't there another housing form thing we were going to have to give out in LA City?
Right to counsel.
Like after right to counsel, though.
Yeah, that hasn't been put into action yet.
Pretty soon we're just going to have
I know what you're talking about. It's another disclosure.
Have to like have a corner library of there'll be no more wall space to post all this crap. And
we should just turn it into wallpaper.
I don't know why they don't just have you like be required to hand a binder to your tenant. Put it all together as one
aluminum siding with your permit number.
I'd rather give it all in a binder they can lose and never actually flip through because they don't want to have to actually read stuff. Then,
well, and I think that we may need to get involved as activists and ask them if they can go ahead and put it all in digital format so we can save a tree.
Yeah,
just be able to post a QR code because it changes so much.
Yeah, right. And they should just have like one document that's like a big LA City tenants rights or some, that goes through.
But the reality is they're not here to make this easy for us for a reason. It's a defense for them in court. That's why they change the rules so often, and it's so hard for us to keep up with them, is they don't want us to be successful with our eviction.
But also, like, what are you supposed to do when you do a renewal and there's a new notice that's required? You're really supposed to go there and be like, excuse me, I have to post this to your inside door near the entrance on my property with no common area, or with common area that I don't control, and I'd get like fined for trying to put something up.
I'm surprised code enforcement hasn't busted one of us yet for littering.
I just posted on the gate to the garage, take a picture of it, and they'll let them do with it what they want.
I was driving down one of the boulevards. Don't ask me, because now I'm driving. The staircase, I could see the right to counsel, the tenant's protections, a copy of the permit. And I just looked and thought, under the stairwell is a good place to put that, I guess. I don't know. But sooner or later, why don't we just get it printed on aluminum siding? I mean, hey.
Well, it changes way too much for that.
Well, right. And I think that's why they do it, is to tie us up so we can't be successful with our evictions. Let's just be honest. So why do they need the threshold amount on a notice? Why? It doesn't make sense.
For the number of bedrooms.
There wasn't a phone number of where the tenant could pay their rent to on the notice.
Well, that's
So the notice
nonsense,
isn't
because that's
valid.
already supposed to be in the lease, right? So if you've already put it in the lease, why would it freaking matter?
There was no times to pay the rent on the notice. Right? Hey, Patty, please ask the group about it if they've had any recent eviction cases for non-payment of rent, and what was the results in LA. And I'm assuming she means LA City. So anybody have any evictions go through in LA City recently? Yeah, LA City. She wants to know what the results are for non-payment of rent. Has anybody been successful recently? Most of them are paying them cash for keys, is going to be my guess. They're not going through the process. Balcony inspections. If anybody has done any balcony inspections, Marion is also looking for somebody doing balcony inspections. So if you guys can put one of those in the chat, it would be greatly appreciated.
Person detected near your door.
I know whose phone that was. I won't tell on you, but there's motion detected near your front door. It'll be there later tonight too, I promise. All right. If nobody else has anything, I'm going to get off of here. Oh, yes. Patty and Fast Evict handled it. It went well. We won. There you go. Right now, I'll tell you guys this. Fast Evict is not taking cases in LA City. They will take a case in LA County and any other surrounding counties, but Fast Evict will not take a case in LA City.
Patty, I have a question in regard to the balconies or the staircase balcony stuff. Now, my rentals don't have it, so I usually don't listen to any of the stuff that's said. But if we have a primary, like our own primary residence that has a balcony and a staircase, does that require inspection as well, or
No.
It's only for like
only
your
rental? Only rental, Julia.
Only rentals.
Oh, good to know. Okay, thanks.
Let me explain what happened and then you'll understand why. Okay. In Berkeley, a group of Irish exchange students were all standing on a balcony having a beer one night. Okay. 6 of them plummeted to their death because the balcony couldn't hold the weight of the 6 of them. Okay. So they initiated new balcony in inspections to make sure that this didn't happen again. I mean, that's horrible. Think about if we were out on the balcony with our family and that happened to us. Okay. So because of that tragedy, there are new building codes initiated in new buildings. But in the meantime, they want all elevated walkways and surfaces inspected to make sure that history doesn't repeat itself. I wouldn't worry about it in your own personal private residence unless you're having mass parties on your balcony. Okay. Just you and your husband enjoying the moonlit night. Don't worry about it.
Gotcha. In the event we were to ever sell, is that a good thing to like, oh, well, here's the paperwork, and I don't know if that's necessary.
Not at this time, no.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I only know this because I just recently closed escrow on one of my nieces purchased a home, and I just recently went through escrow on that. And I have another niece that's selling her home that's currently in escrow. So I want to say I recently have had 2 escrows going on, and that wasn't, that wouldn't have been anything in a private sale like that at all.
Gotcha. It was just because Rancho kind of, I don't know, I mentioned to you how they had me sign a form saying, if you sell this property and the whatever you built, let's say it tumbles down one day, you are still responsible even though you sold it to somebody else. So I'm like, okay, so do I need to get it like
What
checked
they're
out?
trying to do is cover their asset with people building ADUs and things that aren't permitted. If you build it and it falls down, the new buyer can sue you. Does this make more sense now?
Yeah, and we permitted it. She's like, but I was like, well, I'm getting the permits. I'm doing everything that you guys want me to. So why are you still having me sign off on this?
So
and
you
she said,
fear signing that at that point because you have someone you can hold accountable.
Accountable. Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you.
No problem. You've created your own accountability.
Gotcha. Thanks.
No worries. Does anybody else have anything? Because I got to get on the road. All right, you guys, if you need me, I'll be at Agla all day tomorrow. G. Jones is giving you a balcony inspection company. There we go. I will be at Agla all day tomorrow. Apparently, there might be a lunch and learn there tomorrow regarding stuff. So, hey, you may want to email Diana and see if you can sign up for that. If not, you could always stop by and bring me breakfast. I'd love to see you. All right. I'll be at Agla tomorrow. If you need me, call me there. Other than that, I'm yours. You guys have a great week. And if you need anything, give me a call. Let me know. Bye, everybody.